I came here for a bloody shootout, like in the West. Yeah, you want to hear a joke? My mum, God bless her soul, she was gonna call me Charlie. Yeah, Charlie Cray I would have been. You know why she did call me Charlie? Well, if she called me Charlie and I became a football player, on the back of my shirt it would have said, Cray, say. Get it? Cray, say. What you look at it?
Come to think of it, I think back in the 1960s, football players actually didn't have the names on the back of their shirts anyway, so yeah. Well, the thing about Legend, starring Hardy and Hardy, also known as the Hardy Boys, is that it was a little bit historically inaccurate. It featured none of the story with Edge and Christian or Lita, but to be fair, most of these biopic style films, pretty much all of these biopic style films, do take liberties with the truth, so you can't really fault it too much on that. But what it did do was pretty good. It shows the Cray twins at pretty much the height of their notoriety and how they were chased around town by Doctor Who, which incidentally lets us know what happened to the Ninth Doctor. The overall story was interesting, the acting was superb, and I really felt like you got a sense for who the Cray twins were, from the working class heroes to the violent gangsters, and it did so without trying to water it down or to sympathise with them. It was very much, this is who they were without apology. Another thing about Legend is that it did have a very American style gangster movie feel to it, and perhaps that's because it was directed by an American, and that's not in and of itself a bad thing, but there was a few occasions where I was watching thinking that feels like it was lifted right out of Goodfellas, and it's just a little bit of a shame that it didn't really craft its own style, but it's not a major issue. The only real downside to the film is that I didn't feel like there was any kind of overall point. I mean, I get that it's based on a true story, which means there's certain limitations, but at the same time they are taking liberties with the truth, and if you're going to do that, then I feel like you need to have some kind of message by the end, and it was very much series of events, the end, and the only message I can maybe derive from that was crime is bad, and which is fine, of course, a good message to deliver, but at the same time it's like, well, unless you're aiming this movie at, like, you know, 5-year-olds, I think your audience would probably know that. But it is what it is. It's still a pretty good movie. It's not what I'd call a must-see film, certainly not one that I think you need to rush out to the cinema to watch, maybe wait till it's on DVD or something like that. But once you do watch it, I think you can appreciate it for what it is. I would say though, just as a side point, that there's a part where Barbara Windsor's name is mentioned, but the real Barbara Windsor isn't actually in the film, and that's a shame because there's a couple of parts I think she would have been really good for, and certainly one part I think she would have been perfect for, but what can you do? But that's what I think of Legend. Let me know what you think if you've seen it, or if you want to see it, or if you don't want to see it, if you don't even care about it, if you have other thoughts. All opinions welcome. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Either way, thank you for watching, and until next time,
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.